Well, there's always news. Today, Trump is on his way to meet Putin. Will anything change? Will Putin continue with the bombing, the outrageous bombing of Ukraine? Non-stop criminal activity in Ukraine? He never had any reason to be there to begin with. And if this was a real meeting for peace, then they would have invited Zelensky. He represents the Ukrainian people, and the Ukrainian people are angry. They don't want to give up their land. Not when it was their land to begin with. And when you study history like I have, and you listen to Timothy Snyder, you know that Ukraine existed as a sovereign nation 200 years before Russia became a nation. So for Russia to just go into Ukraine, to decimate it, to lay landmines all over, to make drones fall on individual people and watch as they're dismembered, that's criminal. That's horrific. And that's not war. That's not war against an enemy. That's war because you want to take control over another country. And you're going to do it as brutally as you possibly can. I think it's too bad America never gave Zelensky the weapons he needed, because we could have stopped this war either before it began or certainly a lot quicker than it is now. So I'm with the Ukrainian people. I'm not for Putin, who looks upon the trip to Alaska as a domestic flight. That's how he's looking at it, because he remembers when Russia owned Alaska. And all Trump is doing is getting him out of isolation. Will there be a just ceasefire for Ukraine? I don't know, but I don't have high hopes. Trump is big on bullying us, the American people. He's not big on bullying Putin after being 30 years plus under Putin's thumb. I don't know what's going to happen there. I do know why the GOP Congress is walking in lockstep with Trump. For one deal alone, the fossil fuel deal, when we know that Trump asked for $1 billion to his campaign and he would continue with fossil fuels over renewables. Well, he got $1 billion into his campaign. But you know what? The GOP, who stood up for the bills and went against renewables in favor of fossil fuels, they got $105 million. That's not being coward. That's being greedy. And that's what's driving the dedication, the complicitness with this administration. Personal self-interest, personal greed. Every bill you look at the fossil fuel bill, that's up there. And that's because a lot of money changed hands. And it changed hands when the entire earth is burning up, when there are flash floods all over, when there are glaciers melting in Alaska and other regions of our world, in Switzerland. We're going to run out of water in many places. And yet we keep on clearing land for crops as if there was no end in sight. Well, there is. People can't live at 100 degrees or 122 degrees. It's impossible. Sure, you can drink a lot of water, but we're not there yet for being able to use wearables to keep us cool no matter what, and keep us dry and shielded from the sun that gets ever more intense. So this is not a time to go fossil fuels. This is a time to go renewables and to think creatively. Sure, I know a lot of folks don't want to dedicate a lot of land to solar or wind power, but there's nuclear power on a much smaller scale that would be much safer that we could use. Folks are looking at generating electricity from the moisture in the air. It's on a small scale now, but eventually it could be scaled up. Invest in our future and we'll have a future. And I say kudos to Gavin Newsom. I support him. He is indeed fighting fire with fire. And I think that's what you have to do today. You gotta fight fire with fire. If Trump doesn't have any boundaries, you gotta checkmate him immediately. And that's what the state of California can do with Texas. They can redistrict and nullify Texas's 5 votes that cancel out the Democrats. And every Democratic state can do the same. And since most of our states have more people than the Republican states, they got 2 big states, Florida and Texas. The others, not so much. I think it would not be a win-win for the Republicans. Might as well leave it with the illegal gerrymandering that you have already. But you know what, folks? It doesn't matter anymore because the people are awake and the people are speaking up. I attended a Labor for Democracy meeting last night on Zoom. There were over 1,500 people for the call. There's going to be a major demonstration in all 50 states on September 1st. Contact Labor for Democracy if you'd like to know what all the actions are, because there are going to be plenty, including at some point, general strikes. And I think it's about time. I've been saying for years what we need are strikes. Strikes when industry, who is complicit with Trump, when they need the cash to do it and stop the country. And let everyone know labor's unhappy. Federal employees, their union is unhappy because everyone is suffering and there's inflation. And it doesn't matter if he fires 1,000 good statisticians. People know there's inflation. People know climate warming is harming their health. They know when we have unhealthy air and they can't breathe, and we are not going to be silent. So I'm happy that people are speaking.